despise myself, indeed. Normally I feel the same about myself as well. But I've been telling generous lies. Well, they're not really lies. I've been hyping myself up, like in conversation. If somebody compliments me, I try not to play it off. I try to be like, yeah, I am pretty great. Because, psychologically, hi, my name is BabyBatB and I'm a therapist. Um, Psychologically, we have a thing called neuroplasticity. We're gonna learn some today. We have a thing called neuroplasticity, and neuroplasticity is your brain is ever changing. Your brain is learning constantly. Your brain's learning right now, not only because I'm talking to you about things that you're learning, but like your brain learns from your environment. It's picking up shit that you don't even like cognitively recognize. This goes for your thoughts as well. So, if you have negative thoughts or if you repeat negative thoughts, your brain is forming neural pathways to solidify that thought in your brain. Basically, you can lie to yourself so much that your brain believes that it is true. Like, if you tell yourself something over and over and over and over again, your brain will believe that it's true because of this thing called neuroplasticity. So, cognitive distortions, which are things that we tell ourselves every day, that aren't true, that we believe that they're true. We believe that they're true because of neuroplasticity. It's a double-edged sword with neuroplasticity. You can learn and like process a lot of really cool shit, and benefit from it. But the thing about neuroplasticity, and I'm going to keep saying the word over and over again, is that it doesn't really discriminate. It doesn't really discriminate between stimuli and like information that isn't true. Welcome to, we were gonna play Magic the Gathering, but now we're having a therapy session. Uh, so cognitive distortions, neuroplasticity, did I spell that right? Yes, indeed. Good job, Jojo. Good job. Also, hi Jojo. Welcome. We're gonna play Magic here in a bit. I promise. I'm a therapist and I love psychoeducation. So I love psychoeducating my little sinners. Hold on, let me put on my professor glasses. So, cognitive distortions are like things that we tell ourselves that aren't true, that we repeat so much that we think that they're true. Hold on one second. Let me put you guys over on my other monitor. And I'm going to show you a little something. Let's see. One of my favorite handouts to give my patients. Like, I hand this out, like, almost every day to my patients who are experiencing cognitive distortions, which, if you are in, addiction, you have a lot of cognitive distortions. Let's see. Does a PDF count as an image? We're gonna find out. Is that an image file? No. Hmm. Well, BabyBat, it's official. I'm a paid mod. What do you mean? How are you paid? Who's paying you? Who is the fool? You made $7 last night? Hold on. I'm gonna go to this screen. Actually, hold on. We need to go to this screen and turn on window capture. And I'm just gonna show you a thing real quick. Dude, that's like 4 blue Slurpees? Hell yeah, yeah. Okay. We're gonna zoom in. We're gonna zoom in real quick. We're gonna zoom in really close. Hold on. Maybe not that close. Maybe 200 is the sweet spot. Actually, hold on. Come with me over here. My fat ass was in the way. All right. So, cognitive distortions are irrational thoughts that shape how you see the world, how you feel, and how you act. It's normal to have these thoughts occasionally, but if you have them frequently and they go unchallenged, it can be harmful. So, there's different types of cognitive distortions. The cognitive distortions, hold on, I'll put on some music for you guys. We need some more stimulation. Who turned on nerdy BabyBat? Eat my dick. Hold on. Let me turn the music down, actually. Don't throw shit at me. So magnification and minimization is exaggerating or minimizing the importance of events. You might believe your own achievements are unimportant or that your mistakes are excessively important. So, magnification and minimization could be you made an A on a test, or you made a B. Let's say you made a B on a test. Minimizing would be I should have made an A. Me making a B means that I'm a catastrophic failure. You're minimizing your own achievement. Like, you passed the test. That shows that you have some understanding of the material. But you know, you have this cognitive distortion that your achievements are not as important or as big as they actually are. Another one is, and I know you guys do this because I do this. Somebody pays you a compliment. Somebody tells you that you're really good at playing Magic the Gathering. And you minimize by saying, well, there's players out there that are better than me. You know, it's not that I'm not that good of a player. Like, it's not that, you know, my win rate is only like 60%, which is still a really good win rate, by the way. Magnification. Yes, JoJo is like guilty. I am guilty of this as well. I experience minimization with my own achievements all the time. Soul Razor says, I don't feel targeted, you feel targeted. So, I experience minimization all the time whenever someone tells me that I'm funny or that I'm a good streamer or that I'm pretty, or literally anything, any compliment, I'm aware cognitively that I am practicing cognitive distortions. I'm aware that me saying it's not a big deal, I'm not that funny, there are people funnier than me, is a cognitive distortion. And that helps lessen it a little bit. Like, knowing that it's a cognitive distortion, pointing out that it's a cognitive distortion, is a great way of beginning to undo the neuropathways that have been formed. Okay? So magnification is if you have a small mistake. Like, a patient told me today that she accidentally ran a red light. And she beat herself up about it all day. Okay? Magnification is, I accidentally ran a red light. I inconvenienced other people. Other people were honking at me. Now they don't like me. And that leads into catastrophizing, right? Hi, I'm psychoeducating chat. We were supposed to be playing Magic the Gathering, but I got on a roll. So I'm showing them one of the handouts that I give my patients. Oh. So, catastrophizing is going down the rabbit hole. It is what if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if. Seeing only the worst possible outcomes of a situation. I am also guilty of catastrophizing. I also have a separate sheet that I give to my patients for catastrophizing that sort of helps you uncatastrophize, or decatastrophize is what it's called. So an example of catastrophizing would be, I accidentally ran a red light. It probably had a red light camera on it. The police are going to run my plates. They're going to come to my house and I'm going to be arrested. That is snowballing. And then that turns into, what if they end up at my house? What if I get arrested? What if I go to jail? What if I can't afford a lawyer? And what if my family has to pay for my bail and it's like really big? And what if, what if, what if, what if, what if? The way that you stop catastrophizing is you take a moment to weigh out the likelihood of the thing that you're catastrophizing about happening. So we're gonna, real quick, don't judge my Kingdom Hearts background. I'm a fucking nerd. I'm gonna, let's, decatastrophizing. If any of you out there are also therapists and you don't know about Therapist Aid, it is the best website for a therapist, especially a beginning therapist. Let's see. Yes, this is the sheet. So, this ties into the cognitive distortion lesson that I usually teach my patients. It's like, what are you worried about? So, I'm worried that I'm going to be arrested. How likely is it that your worry will come true? Give examples of past experiences or other evidence to support your answer. So, what is the likelihood that I'm going to be arrested for running a red light once? Not very high. It's not cognitive distortions are not grounded in reality. Especially catastrophizing. So the likelihood that my worry will come true, I can't really give examples of past experiences because I've never been arrested for running a red light. If my worry does come true, what's the worst that could happen? So if there was a red light camera at that red light, what's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is that you get a ticket. Realistically, you're going to get a ticket. Like, if there was a red light camera at that red light. What the worst that could happen in this scenario, realistically, is you get a ticket. If your worry comes true, what's the most likely? You'll probably get a warning. You'll probably get a thing in the mail, like, hey, your car ran a red light. Here's like a small fine. You probably won't even have to go to court. If your worry comes true, what are the chances you'll be okay in a week? Maybe the fine might hurt your pockets a little bit. But in a week, you'll probably be okay. There'll probably be payday again. You'll be okay. In a month, you probably won't even think about it anymore. And in a year, definitely won't be thinking about it anymore. So usually this is a sheet that I give my patients to sort of in the moment, like in the future, if you're experiencing a catastrophizing episode, pull it out and walk yourself through the steps. I usually encourage my patients to keep a binder of the things that I give them and keep one of those like dry erase sheets on it so that they can just write over it and erase it. That way they don't have to like make copies all the time. I can't talk. Overgeneralization. Overgeneralization is making broad interpretations from a single or few events. I felt awkward during my job interview. I'm always so awkward. Overgeneralization is dealing in absolutes, and as we have learned from Star Wars, only the Sith deal in absolutes. This is, I will always be where I am now, is a common overgeneralization thought. I'll always be depressed. I'll always be anxious. I'll always be socially awkward. This can also mean, this overgeneralization can also mean, like, everyone around me hates me. Like, every single person, without exception, will hate you. Again, another, like, the ways that you can deal with cognitive distortions is taking yourself from up here in this state of unreality back down to reality. Talking to someone, if you're having like a panic episode based on your cognitive distortions, is really good. Somebody who can take you from up here, you can't see my hand gestures, up here to back down to reality. Magical thinking, the belief that thoughts, actions, and emotions influence unrelated situations. If I hadn't hoped something bad would happen to him, he wouldn't have gotten to a car accident. And this sounds like you're in the realm of Delulu if you, like, have this thought, right? But all of us have this thought. Like, it doesn't matter if we're Delulu or not. Like, in a way, cognitive distortions in general are delusions. They may be very small delusions, but they are delusions. So the belief that like, let's say you got into a fight with your coworker and you were like, man, I hope his tire pops or whatever, or he spills coffee on himself, like hot coffee, right on his dick. And then something bad happens to your coworker, and you're like, oh shit, it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have materialized it, like manifested it. Um, it's a delusion. It's a cognitive distortion. Um, it's a common one that occurs. If I hadn't of wished that my mom would get some kind of retribution for yelling at me earlier, then she wouldn't have fallen down the stairs. You know, it's a delusion. It's one typically that children have. But you know, it doesn't stop the thought from popping into our heads as an adult. It's just usually adults have more of a way of filtering those thoughts out. Personalization, the belief that you are responsible for events outside of your control. My mom is always upset. She would be fine if I did more to help her. This one is common. All of these are relatively common. But this one is fairly common for people who are in who have grown up in abusive situations with their parents. Um, it's sort of the belief that every time somebody has like a negative like body language or like tone of voice or something like that, you sort of jump to the they're mad at me, I'm going to be in trouble, I need to do what I can to appease them before I get punished. Um Again, it's very common for children, but we also experience this as adults too, especially people adults who are children of abuse. Emotional abuse, especially. Lots of people don't talk about the effects of emotional abuse on a person, but it has long lasting effects into adulthood. And personalization is one of those. Jumping to conclusions, interpreting the meaning of a situation with little or no evidence. This can lead to mind reading, interpreting the thoughts and beliefs of other people without adequate evidence. It's not literal mind reading. It's you think you can tell what another person thinks about you or thinks about a situation. Um, I asked a girl out and she said no, she probably thinks I'm ugly. She could already have a boyfriend, or she could already like she could just not be ready for a relationship. It doesn't mean that you're ugly, you know. I'm sorry, my husband is being very loud in the other room. It doesn't mean that like it's anything you've done. Fortune telling, the expectation that a situation will turn out badly without adequate evidence. Um, why even ask a girl out? Like she's just gonna turn me down. Like you haven't even asked the girl out yet. You're already interpreting the you already have an expectation of failure, which again is also a trademark of people who have gone through a significant trauma. Usually people who are rejection sensitive go through this where they expect rejection, and that can lead to self-sabotage. Where you sort of expect rejection, so you try to bait rejection to prove yourself right. And it becomes like a self-defeating cycle for people who are especially rejection sensitive. Emotional reasoning, the assumption that emotions reflect the way that things really are. I feel like a bad friend, therefore I must be a bad friend. Your emotions do not dictate reality. And I know in the moment it can feel like all of my friends hate me. I'm very depressed. I hate myself, therefore all of my friends must hate me. But it's a cognitive distortion. Disqualifying the positive, it's sort of like minimizing. Recognizing only the negative aspects of a situation. You can make an A on an assignment, but you missed one question. I always go back to school. Like I always, like, in my head, whenever I come up with these examples, I go back to whenever I was in school. You make an A, you missed one question. It could have been a 100. Like, I missed that one question. I'm so dumb. You might receive many compliments, but you'll focus on a single piece of negative feedback. Content creators do this a lot, especially newer content creators. You can receive so many positive comments on a video, on streams, on VODs, on your covers if you do cover songs, or original content. And that one fucking negative comment is the one that you focus on. And that's just human nature. But recognizing that it's a cognitive distortion whenever it happens, it really, it helps you step out of that frame of mind. Should statements, I should always be perfect. I should stream 7 days a week. I should wash the dishes whenever I get home from work. I should exercise more. I should. What is the phrase? You can want in one hand and should in the other, and see which one gets fuller first. Something like that. All or nothing thinking in absolutes, such as always, never, every, I never do a good job on anything. Again, it goes back to overgeneralization. It's sort of kind of the same thing. I'm not sure why they didn't want in one hand and crap in the other. Okay, then what's the one about shoulds? Is it like should yourself into a corner? I don't remember. There's a saying about shoulds. Don't should yourself into a corner or something like that. All or nothing thinking and overgeneralization, kind of one umbrella. Sort of the same umbrella, to be honest. Always, never, every, I never do a good job on anything. I will always feel this way. If you guys remember back whenever I did a let's play of the game Vampire Therapist, a good game, by the way. I really need to finish it. I have the couples therapy DLC. We should really play that sometime. All or nothing thinking, he calls high noon thinking or something like that. And yeah. I'm very awkward. Okay, so we know what the cognitive distortions are. How do we get rid of them? The way that you get rid, or you deal with cognitive distortions, is You recognize them, you label them, and you argue with them. Where is it? Where's my... I have a journal. I don't know where it is. That shows you how good I am at doing my own therapy. I have a journal that I write down my cognitive distortions in. You write down the thought, like, I have the thought often that I'm not a good therapist. I'm not good enough as a therapist. Now, which one of these would it be? Pop quiz? Soul? Which one of these? I'm going to call on Soul because Soul doesn't pay attention in class. I feel like I'm a bad therapist, therefore I am. Which one of these cognitive distortions would that be? It is currently on the screen, so it is an open book test.
Maxi Donafel, it is in Bookshire, it's a temperature of the thunderboy covered may call it that is my cast in the steam with us.
Come on, Soul, you can do it. Jojo got it. Jumping to conclusions? It could be. It could technically kind of fall under jumping to conclusions. However, the answer that I was looking for, because a lot of these do sort of flow together, the answer that I was looking for was emotional reasoning, and Jojo got it right. You're cute. How am I being cute right now? You know, I don't think I'm that cute. Which cognitive distortion would that be, chat? I think there are people that are cuter than me.
That's wrong.
What cognitive distortion would that be, chat? Minimizing! Good job, Jojo. That's 2 stars. Emotional reasoning was the last one, so it's okay. I know you get nervous. You're a nervous test taker, and I did just spring a pop quiz on you.
Late for class.
I was late for class. You were talking on your phone during class to my husband in the other room.
I'm the best at it.
So yes, it would be minimizing. That is minimizing the importance of events. It could also be focusing on the negative, disqualifying the positive. Some of these really overlap. I know, I'm fucking adorable. You see, that's one of the ways that you fight cognitive distortions. You tell little lies until you believe them. Without joking, though, it's not a lie if you tell yourself that you're attractive, or you tell yourself that you're smart and stuff like that. It's boosting yourself up, and it's arguing with cognitive distortions. And arguing with your cognitive distortions is always healthy. One of the things to gaslight yourself to the truth. One of the things that I have my patients do, I usually give them homework. I'm guilty of giving my patients homework. Is you keep a cognitive distortion journal. I keep one. My therapist assigned me one. Um, the thing with cognitive distortion journals is that you have to catch the thought as it's happening, which means you need to keep that thing on you. You need to keep yourself strapped, so to speak, with your cognitive distortion journal. So probably don't get one as big and thick as the one that I got. It's like this fucking huge grimoire. Uh so cognitive distortion journals is, and this is the way that I like to do them. Write verbatim the cognitive distortion. You label the cognitive distortion, like right, just recently, right here on camera, Fuji told me I was cute. And I said, I don't think I'm that cute. I think there are people cuter than me. I would write down, I think people are cuter than me. I'm not that cute. And then I would label it minimizing. And then my job to, after that, is to argue with it. What is the evidence that I'm not cute? I mean, a lot of people tell me that I'm cute. Therefore, people find me attractive. And also, another thing that you could logic your way out of it and be objective and like, oh, beauty's objective. Who's to say that I am cute or not cute? But if a lot of people tell you that you're cute and hardly anyone ever tells you that you're not cute, then that sort of like solves itself, right? You write that out. Like, the evidence to the contrary is that I get a lot of compliments on my appearance. Does that make sense? Am I rambling? I ask my patients that a lot too. Imagine 40 minutes of this. Actually, you don't have to imagine. We just almost we just hit an hour. You don't have to imagine. That's what sessions with me are like. We surveyed 100 people and they all confirmed you are cute. So using evidence-based observations to contradict, which a lot of therapy is pointing out contradictions in your thinking. Finding evidence to contradict the cognitive distortion. Any questions? If there are no questions, we will adjourn class and we will go to recess. And recess is, we're going to play Magic the Gathering. I intended that to be a brief overview, but I forgot that I'm a yapper. You're off to church? Damn. All right, no questions. Class adjourned. Class is adjourned. Oh shit, hold on. There's the game. Okay. I was like, where's the game? Class is adjourned, and now that we are in recess, guys, the Final Fantasy pack soon.